So I just had a notion that this would be a good thing to show, because I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, I made a video on that once already, and I was like, that was probably a few years ago, so let's try it. Let's do it. See if we can see. We can see. So what we got right here, the process I am taking myself along on the path of, is reassembling this H556. At this point of the H556, 557, 558s, all these are totally common to all of them. Anyway, I had to go in because the one distress signal these do send is that if it starts getting really hard to manually set the time, it starts skipping, then you're binding up in the keyless works or in the cannon pinion. Anyway, this is the Burke. This is the Burke that I most recently got. It's after hours now, so I am waiting to be yelled at to come upstairs. So I am gonna say, well, you know, honey, I'm doing a video. And you know what? It's absolutely true. These are, they're not tricksy. They're a well-designed movement. They are solid. They're mostly metal, and the bits that are plastic aren't like, you know, I've never seen them fail. You know, this sort of bridge diddly thing. Okay, so the reason you have to have the stem in there, because the stem actuates the safety lever, and the hacking lever, so you got to you gotta have that. And this is one of these things, by the way, it's one of the ones that has caught me more than once. This little spring catch right here, that is for the hacking lever. I can't tell you more than once, because you're fiddling with this stuff, trying to get stuff going, and if you don't notice, that thing can go up there, and it's not really going to fight you too much, and it goes down like so, and then you'll screw the whole thing together, and then the hacking lever doesn't work, and it's bent. I am so sorry for all the hacking. I was using my new handy dandy bench vacuum cleaner, which is the coolest accidental purchase I've ever made. I thought I was going to come up with some kind of renewable canned air solution, which is what the thing was sold for. It was useless for that, but for doing, it's like a little handheld, like a I don't know, it looks like a ray gun, honestly. But it's this thing, and it has an HEPA filter on it, and the whole thing that you can see what's going in there, it's clear. It separates out the heavier items. I can't believe it. I've been using it. I use it every day. I also clean it every day. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Okay, Spencer. Here I am trying to slot a puzzle together, and I don't have the picture in my head. I just flipped it over. I know I have schematics for the H, of course. I just think they're digital. I just cannot remember. I have a feeling I'm going to get yelled at to come to dinner very soon. And what I should do is I should review my digital materials, because clearly I don't have them memorized, because if I did, I wouldn't have to refer to the materials. So I'm going to keep poking at it because I just refuse to give up. And I believe, let me look at an example. Awesome. The one I pulled has been stripped. Okay. Well, frankly, I don't know. No, that's not what I need. I think I need to stage my stuff, and I will be back. And we are back. So these are a little, the reason that they're sort of tricky, and I can never keep it in my head how these go together, is because they have sort of nesting sets of gears that kind of mesh together like a, like the traveling wheels on some World War II tanks. You know, they would have the two wheels, and then the middle wheel, and then the next two wheels, and the middle wheel overlapping. It's kind of like that. So the easiest way to deal with this, really, you can just drop that hour wheel right in there. We already have, this is the essentially the cannon pinion. The way that this works is your friction spring is actually those diddlies right in there. And so you got to make sure that you just get just a tiny amount, tiny amount of lubrication right there. Okay, so now that we've got that in, we need to put in, we've got this baby. So that's the things you've got to drop that in first. Now, oh wait, do I have it backwards? Why, sure I do. Right? Oh no. I had it all sideways. Come here. Oh, criminy, come on. Hang on. Maybe I should have let my food digest before coming back down after dinner. Would you get in there? Would you show me the way? Good God. So, word to the wise, it has to have the cutout over here for this little gear thingy-boo right there. What do we got there, huh? Looks like that's got some ickies on it. Yeah, so this is the Burke. It's it looked like pretty good condition, but it had some parts had gotten stripped out of it. And also it had a fair amount of parts stripped out of it. Also, it had some fiddling done with it. So that made things a little interesting. Come here. God, fart. Okay, good. So, I mean, these are kind of funky. It's also like this, it's basically sort of a floating bridge as well. It would be great if you could, like, you know, bolt this section down, but you can't. The whole thing just is just, the whole thing just kind of floats there. This is actually one thing it's always, always, always good to do, even if you just serviced something. And if you have to go in this far, like I did, take out that stepper motor, get some Rotico, and roll it, because you never know, because any metallic debris in the movement, that if it's ferrous, then it will migrate to this stepper motor, and it'll stick there. And there's no cleaning machine in the world that will remove it except Rotico and your fingers. I mean, that I'm aware of. Unless you get transporter tech. You can transport them off. Which brings me to my next point. I have yet to hear a convincing argument from anyone to disprove my theory that Xenomorphs, like Alien, all that stuff, would have no chance whatsoever against the Federation, like in the Federation. Just, it absolutely wouldn't happen. Xenomorphs couldn't, they might get a few people here and there, but really, really not many, like at all. And the main reasons, of course, people think about Xenomorphs is because of all the terrifying things that they can do, the places that, you know, they can live, and their acid for blood and their hyper-violence and all that stuff. Well, Star Trek has bulkhead force fields. They can keep space at bay on a directly open space the size of a racquetball court. So all the acid blood in the world is not going to change the fact that these people have technology that allows them to do containment on a partial core breach. Freaking Alien isn't going to do anything. Next thing, of course, they have control of gravity, and I think that's important, but not nearly as important as internal sensors. I mean, it may be in the Star Wars world, they have internal sensors, but they sure as heck don't have internal sensors in the Aliens world. Not at all. So Aliens, they had no idea where anything was. I mean, they had to get these like crude scanners and based on, like, you know, trackers. Damn it. Where'd you come from? Trackers in each individual colonist who was in there. Internal scans indicate, nope, that's exactly what they would do. Kaboom. So they'd be able to tell exactly where they were. The bridge crew could tell exactly where they were. They would be instantly walled off with, you know, level 10 force fields. Nothing ever would get through it. Then the last piece of the puzzle, of course, and you all knew this was coming, transporters. Xenomorph, you got it locked down somewhere, right? Got that Xenomorph locked down. Great. Now you do what Kirk did when the weird immortal lust and destruction creature that was behind Jack the Ripper was killed. Because he was unconscious, they couldn't figure out how to beat him because he would keep jumping from body to body, and so they eventually were able to knock him out. Like I think he got tranquilized, and then they hustled him down to the transporter, and they dumped him on the pad. And Kirk said, I think it was Kirk. Maybe it was. I think it was Kirk. Might have been. No, I think it was Kirk. Anyway, it said, beam it into basic. I'm paraphrasing. Beam it into space, widest possible dispersion. So all of a sudden, what used to be a xenomorph is now basically an extremely spread out cloud of atoms. No more xenomorph. So, between internal sensors, force fields, and transporter technology, I firmly believe that xenomorphs would have absolutely no chance whatsoever against any Federation level technology. They only succeed when they can scare people in movie theaters. Starfleet would just beam them into dark space, into deep space. At least I hope they would. I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't know what the. I don't have any idea what the Federation would do with alien tech, but you know, I'm sure there's people that would be interested. I'm sure there's a black market for that kind of stuff. So somebody might end up getting, you know, taken up by the aliens. What you really want to see? Okay, well, I don't. That'd be interesting. Okay, Borg versus alien. Get a couple xenomorphs on a Borg cube, man. Because I mean, a lot of them spend a lot of time in downtime. Perfect incubators. I wonder what would happen. How would they get rid of them? Well, but you know what though? What do the Borg have? Transporters, internal sensors, force fields. Never mind. They'd get roasted unless they were able to somehow take over an entire. Unless they were able to take over an entire Borg cube and then somehow mesh with the sentience part of it to become sentient human alien hybriders, but like more hybrid? I don't know. No, I think we've got a lot of unanswered questions there. It's going to require a lot of deep thinking. Well, it's the next morning. The crazy thing is, I never got to film any more of my Burke Arnie video because I lost my I lost my phone for like the rest of the afternoon and the evening. I still don't know where I put it, but someone found it, and here it is. You know, another reason too, I forgot about one other thing. The Federation has phaser weapon technology. I mean, you set those things to kill, and it'll vaporize the target. I don't care how acidic your blood is, or how many walls you're going to hide inside. If you come out in the open, you're going to get hit by a phased energy weapon, and you're not going to be around anymore. Anyway, there's the finished thing, but let's talk about that some more. So these can be, oh, look at that. I need to, no, that looks good. So anyway, there's the Burke. I went through, I didn't have to replace any parts. I did service everything. I haven't really, one of the problems with these models is they have my favorite finish, which is like this bead blasted brushed finish. High polished sides, but like the top is this bead blasted finish, and I don't yet have a way to replicate that. I need to get basically a really small, like a jeweler's, like tiny, like air compressor, small air compressor with a little media blaster, so I can do this kind of case refinishing. Because I know that it can be done. Jonathan did it. He modified an air compressor and a sandblaster nozzle to be able to use baking soda, and that actually worked beautifully for restoring that frosted finish. It's just one of those things I need to get. The one thing that I did I'm super proud of is the loom on this one was slightly grayed out, ever so slightly dingy, and I used my stuff, and it's absolutely improved. I think I might need to do these ones maybe a little more, but this marker, the 12 marker, was like gray. So that's nice. And I was gonna go, this is one of these things where I completely reassembled it, And you don't test for accuracy at all. I mean, you've got this post that 360 degrees, yes, no, it'll make it faster or slower. I just bolted this thing together and I slapped it on the tester, and it was running at like 5/100ths of a second. Really super accurate. Anyway, so that is a Burke, worn by Paul Reiser's character, Burke, in Aliens, the second movie installation. And there it is. Other than that, it is just a standard old H556. There, I turned the alarm off. Cool. There it is, Neato Mosquito.